Thanks. Now to our other top story at 6. What is Phoenix trying to hide? That's the question being asked in high-profile lawsuits right now as dozens of police protesters sue the city.
Yeah, Phoenix has been fighting to keep multiple taxpayer-funded investigations from being released. It's a battle playing out in court right now. Here's ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscobing.
This group arrested and falsely charged as gang members. More than 100 demonstrators swept up without probable cause and charged with the same copy and paste statement. A man shot in the arm with a, quote, less lethal munition, his arm badly injured. In new court motions, attorneys for the protesters in those lawsuits say Phoenix is hiding critical evidence, and they're asking the court to force the city to release it. And that evidence? Records and results from 3 outside reviews into what police did during the 2020 protests. Quote, the results of these investigations are believed to be highly critical of the Phoenix Police Department. The city now seeks a protective order so it can continue to keep these taxpayer-funded reports hidden from the proceedings in the public. Those outside investigations were paid with hundreds of thousands of our taxpayer dollars, and here they are. An investigation by law firm Ballard Spahr into protesters falsely charged as gang members. A review by the consulting firm 21CP into officers' tactics and techniques during protests. And an analysis by an ASU criminal justice professor into the city's response to the protests. And it's not just those reports that Phoenix wants to keep confidential. They also filed a protective order to try and keep the protesters and their attorneys from interviewing the people who worked on those reports. In motions, Phoenix argued that the requests for the reports and depositions were a, quote, wild goose chase and not relevant or proportional to some of those lawsuits. The city also argues that it would violate their deliberative process privilege. Now back to the reports. The one done by the ASU professor is something ABC 15 investigator Zach Crenshaw has been demanding for months.
Is the city of Phoenix intentionally withholding a taxpayer-funded report?
I've repeatedly asked the city for an on-camera interview.
ASU professor Ed McGuire told ABC 15 he submitted the report to Phoenix way back in January 2022. Phoenix claims the report is still a draft and not finalized, which is why they won't release it. And just this month, here's what happened when Zach tried to ask the city manager about the discrepancy.
Arizona State University professor Edward McGuire wrote a report.
No comment.
No comment on that?
I'm investigator Dave Biscobing, ABC 15, Arizona.
Well, the court hasn't made a decision yet about those reports, but if it's any indication, just this week, a judge ruled that the protesters and their attorneys can interview the outside investigators who worked on those reports. And the city is not happy about that. They've already filed an appeal. Dave and Zach will keep pushing for answers.